Blog Talk Radio.
Race fans, we got something special just for you. Listen in as Chris, Yellow Caution Flag Creighton, and Mr. DJ Sports are in the studio. The 110 Nation Race Chat Live exclusive, bringing you interviews from drivers, promoters, and crews of all types of racing. These are interviews you do not want to miss, so make sure you guys check it out. It's Monday. Oh, glad to be in the studio. Glad to be sitting with my co-host, Chris, Yellow Caution Flag Creighton. We got a great guest for you tonight. I'm going to assume it's Luke Morey is how I'm going to go with this. Dirt modified driver. I'm very excited to learn a little bit tonight. I'm getting an opportunity to let Chris kind of take the lead. He knows these next to the woods a little better than I do, so very excited about this. But my co-host is here with me. Chris, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well. One thing that I know about this kid is he has no problem stepping from the dirt world over to the asphalt. Jason, I've done a little bit of research on him as well. You know, this kid's racing everything from go-karts to motocross, modified, late models, whatever he can get in. He is at the school of hard knocks, I guess, if we could say, learning how to drive these race cars. I cannot wait tonight to get to know Luke Morey and what stories he may have to tell us. So.
Me neither. I see some pictures, and like the one, it must have been the, I don't know what he was racing. It looked like probably something to do with the truck. Yeah, that right there. I'm not sure what that even. You'll have to educate me on this because I am lost when it comes to the door world. So very excited about that. Also, I did learn a little something myself. He has no problem getting his hands in there and being part of everything and working on his stuff. Love to see that. Love to see the drivers getting involved and knowing how to set up the cars, what's involved to go in the cars. I feel there's no better way to be able to help fix things and let your crew chief and your crew know what's wrong. No better way than have hands on yourself so you know what things feel like, what should be adjusted, what needs to be changed, what pressures, everything else. So looking forward to getting him on the show as well. Before we jump into it, before we get him in here,
hold on one second, because you gotta give me a chance to rebuttal to that. I mean, we've learned so much. Let's recapture what we've already done here. This is the 110 Nation Race Chat Live exclusive. We've been basically interviewing these kids from Team Hornaday ever since the first podcast rollout of this series. And one thing that we know already is these kids are young. They're homeschooled, and their complete dedication from the time they wake up to go to sleep every day, it's eat, race, sleep, eat, race, sleep. And that seems to be the going trend with these young gentlemen and hopefully soon ladies that have joined the podcast.
Most definitely. I want to give 1 second real quick to go ahead and shoot what you guys got going on tomorrow night, and I'm going to let you guys know what we got going on Wednesday night, and then we're going to get our guest in. He is in the studio.
All right, no doubt, man. Tomorrow night, Race Chat Live, me, Miss Lee, and Taz Taylor will discuss A.J. Allmendinger capturing that emotional win at the Roval and what it means to the sport. And also, just then, Denny Hamlin did not like some comments made by Jeff Gordon on Twitter. So we'll see in 200 words how Jeff Gordon teed off Denny Hamlin. So I'll be glad to get all that and a whole lot more tomorrow night on Race Chat Live.
Allmendinger. That's the only reason the wife likes some A.J. Allmendinger, so she can walk around and say, Allmendinger. Wednesday night, the 110 Nation Sports Show, 8 o'clock. Mario and myself will be talking about the epic fail known as the Mighty Hurricanes. All they had to do was just kneel the ball, they win the game. Instead, they run a play, fumble it, and Louisville, like 3 plays later, takes it 80 yards and ends up beating Miami. We're also going to talk about the epic fail, also known as Dak Prescott, as that performance last night was horrible. We're going to get into a little bit of Major League Baseball tomorrow or Wednesday night as well. Talk about that player that ended up winning this case over the whole sexual stuff. I'm glad to see that come out and get our thoughts on that. We got a recap of last weekend's football, NCAA and NFL, and then we got our picks for next week for the NFL. And I'll tell you what, this was the worst week I have had. I've been about a 75% shooter so far this last week. Unless the Raiders win tonight, I'm not even making 500. So that's a rough week for us. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get our guest in here. Luke, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm glad to be here tonight. First thing first, we're going to give you an opportunity to plug any sponsors, and then also social media, website, anything that you want the fans, listeners to go to or to be able to interact with. And then Chris is going to take charge.
Yeah, my social media is, my Instagram's luke.morey.49, and my Facebook's Luke Morey Racing. I'd really like to thank Team Hornet Development for all they do. We go go-karting every week at Trackhouse Motorplex, and it's really, our whole life is into this whole thing. So definitely want to give a big thanks to them and Metal Militia, Brian Deegan, for all he's done with me, just advice and just supporting us throughout the whole season, all of our partners helping us get products for our car and just everything like that.
Awesome. So, Luke Morey, first of all, welcome to Race Chat Live, the exclusive by the 110 Nation. I'm glad to have you here on this beautiful Monday night. I know you could be doing a whole lot more. I see that you've got a busy schedule week in, week out. Of course, my co-host over here, he thinks you're a dirt modified racer. But, man, as I flip through your Facebook, the Luke Morey Racing Facebook page, I can see you're a whole lot more than that. Let's just start with that, Luke. What got you into racing, man? How did all this begin? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, my dad, he grew up dirt racing his whole life, running World of Outlaw late models, dirt late models, modified, sprint cars on dirt, really everything on dirt, even some asphalt stuff too. So kind of got born into it. I'm from Ohio, and once I was 2, I think, we moved up to Michigan, and that's kind of where I got my start, just going to local tracks every weekend, watching my dad race modifieds and late models at all the local dirt tracks around. And he ended up starting a series called Mini Wedges. It's like a go-kart with a cage, a really slow motor, just kind of like a kid class. And they're pretty popular in Indiana and Ohio, and he moved the series up to Michigan, and that's kind of how I got my start. I ended up running those for about 2 years, and when I was 9, my dad got a job opportunity down here in Mooresville, North Carolina, and I knew that would only be better for my career too, so we took the leap down here to North Carolina where we are now, and we ran some legend car stuff with Joe Ryan race cars. That kind of started with the whole Team Hornet development thing too, getting us in contact with Joe Ryan. Ran legend cars for about a year, and just last year I made we got a pro late model from Rackley War on asphalt, and ran kind of half Cars Tour and half Carolina Pro Late Model Series schedule last year, and the first half of this year we ran full Cars Tour schedule until we got in a pretty bad wreck at Tri-County, and it kind of ended our season, hurting the car pretty bad. So since that happened, we really tried to just figure out what we need to do if we want to stick to asphalt or what. But we went to the Dream at Eldora earlier this year, or right after that wreck, and we had a lot of opportunities open up there to where now we're in Ron Hornaday's Modify. He told us to come pick it up and run some races, get laps on dirt. So yeah, we've been doing that for probably 2 months now in the Modified. It's really helped me a lot, just learning the 4 bars and how the how they drive it. They drive really weird. So knowing if I want to go down the dirt path, I'm going to need to get modified experience because from what I've heard, they're pretty much the hardest cars you can drive on dirt from what a lot of people that have drove them have said. So I know it's only good to use up this time and just go run. It's a crate motor, so not a lot of power. So just going and running these shows, like we're going, we don't really know where we're going this weekend. We're just going to see what's racing and just kind of go there and learn and just kind of play it by ear.
Right. So is this a typical type of course that Ron Hornaday offers? You're the first guy that we've talked to that got a dirt ride from the Hornaday team. So how did that really come about? Was this a car just stored away, or is it typical that he puts young men in modified cars?
Yeah, he has his own chassis company for dirt modifieds, Hornaday race cars, and he built a lot of them a few years ago, and he hasn't really built a whole lot, and the car he had in his shop was kind of the test car, and just really, I think it was their newest one, and he tested it a few times. Billy Workman Jr. Has tested it a few times, and he told us to go pick it up and just have some fun with it in the rest of the year, and couldn't turn it down, so picked it up and got a motor from Steve Arpin, the owner of Longhorn. He helped us out with a motor to put it in it just to go run some races. So really big thanks to Ron for trusting me to go make laps in his car and really just run it for the rest of the year. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, you've been in go-karts. You're a legend car driver, of course, late models. Now, I've always heard asphalt, when you crash pretty hard. Is that kind of something that kind of shook you there, or is that tell us about the incident?
Yeah, it was at Tri-County, so that track it's a really unique track, definitely one of my favorite tracks because you're not right around the top there, but you're pretty close to the wall all the way around since they repaved it a few years ago. So really fast track. You lit for only a few seconds there in qualifying with all the new asphalt on it. And we were pretty good. I don't know where we qualified. I think top 10, I think like 7th or something around some pretty good cars. And lap 30, I believe it was, we blew the right rear going in turn 1, and wall was there waiting on me. So pancaked the wall pretty hard, but I was pretty lucky in straight rail cars. The chassis doesn't go all the way to the right side door, so I had a lot of cushion on the right side, so I was okay. I got my wrist caught in the wheel and hurt my wrist, but it healed in just a week or two. So yeah, it really hurt the car more than anything, which sucks because it got pretty much everything from the right side door all the way to the cage. So definitely hurt. It hurt more knowing the car got wrecked. I wasn't really worried about me at the time because just whenever it happened, I see springs rolling down the tracks. My whole shock bounces off the hood. So, yeah, it definitely sucked, but we bounced back from it.
Let's jump real quick back over to the modified situation. Now, your dad was a dirt racer. Has he been able to kind of coach you in on that situation as you've jumped over to the modifieds? Or, technology's been pretty awesome over the last 20 years, but has he been able to kind of give you some feedback and help kind of feed you into the series?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He has so many connections. I'm so grateful for all the connections he has because he's the head of motorsports at Bilstein Shocks, and they've been really good in the whole dirt world the last few years ever since he kind of took over. And just being able to go to call Steve Arpin, the owner of Longhorn Chassis, pretty much they're dominating this year at their dirt late model chassis. Being able to call him and talk to him, and he gave me a lot of advice. I raced alongside of him a few weeks ago, and it's really cool just to be able to lean on those people for advice. It definitely helps. And even my dad, he's given me a lot of advice too, just kind of what to expect. And he won't really kind of tell me what to do before the race. He kind of just sends me out there and has me learn. So first few races I learned, he told me what I need to do different, and we're still working on it. But I think we're pretty consistent now with just kind of choosing where to run and stuff. So, yeah, it's all going good.
Tell you what, Steve Arpin name I heard a while. Good guy. We had him on. It's been years at this point, but Good guy there. And to answer the question, I had a message sent to me, what was that? I chuckled because I've never heard anybody say the wall was sitting there waiting on me. So that was that was a chuck. That was kind of a semi-chuckle because I just thought, I've just never heard that. In Ohio, what part of Ohio are you from?
Columbus, Ohio, and we lived in Reynoldsburg for about 2 years and moved straight up. So we're only there for too long. I don't remember any of it. So yeah, not there long enough to really remember.
Originally from Dayton, Ohio, and moved back, and that's going to lead me to the other part of that. And Miss Lee, she's also from, I want to say, the Columbus area. And then I also lived in North Carolina for half my life. What tracks in North Carolina did you get an opportunity to run? There's some great tracks in North Carolina. Where have you gotten to run so far?
There's definitely a big list of cool, just short tracks that is on everyone's bucket list. Definitely the coolest one, even though we didn't have a good run there, coolest one was definitely North Wilkesboro, racing there on the All-Star weekend. That was really cool. We had motor issues all weekend, but we ended up getting a provisional for being high enough up in points. So it was just fun making all the laps, just cruising around, racing out there with Cup drivers. So that's definitely one of them. There's definitely a few tracks, like I said, Tri-County's one of them. That I ran there in Legend Cars a few years ago, and it was nothing to what it is now. So they've done a good job with that track. Yeah, there's just a lot that are really cool around this whole area.
Not going to lie, a little jealous about the whole North Wilkesboro thing. I got an opportunity to do Rockingham when they brought it back for a couple of years. I moved away before they redid North Wilkesboro. I always wanted to go there. I always told myself if I still lived in North Carolina, not that I expected to move at any point in time, that kind of changed, but I always wanted to go there. So I'm going to, I have to admit, I'm a little jealous on that. You've done dirt, you've done track, or I've done asphalt. Which one do you like better?
Definitely dirt. I haven't done... The Cars Tour is very professional, and it's pretty much the Cup Series for late model stocks and pro late models and super late models. So that's definitely a really professional level, and it was definitely different running these local shows. They don't have a schedule. These local dirt shows, they don't have a schedule, so you're just kind of going out there. And it's just completely different. So I've been spending this whole time trying to learn, knowing if I want to go down the dirt path, I'm going to have to learn it. So learning how to drive the cars and just learning how the short tracks operate differently from the Cars Tour. So it's definitely been a big learning curve compared to how professional the Cars Tour is versus all the local tracks, local dirt tracks.
I drew a blank. Schooling. We talked a little bit about this before. You doing homeschooling as well?
Yeah, I started homeschool, I think, about a year ago. I started. I'd go to a tutor from, I think, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday I go. So it's really cool just being able to have a nice open schedule to go do go-karting Tuesday afternoons and on Wednesday mornings. So it's definitely nice. I'm getting a lot more done than I did in public school. I think I'm already halfway through my school year, halfway through my school year already, only a few months in. So it definitely helps me just get ahead and be able to be done and graduate earlier than being in public school.
Yes, the daughter, she started homeschool this year, and she can actually graduate a half a year early with homeschooling. So definitely a plus. Did you ever think that when you was young that this would be your life, like go-karting all the time, homeschooling, so you ain't got to deal with all the craziness, especially today's world, in the school system, and be able to race cars all the time? Like, I just couldn't imagine on a Tuesday, we're going to go-kart. Like, I just couldn't imagine having that life. Do you ever think that this is where your life would take you?
Not really. I kind of planned out the whole dirt path whenever I was a kid and stuff, but moving down here and getting into legend cars kind of led us into the car store that was growing at the time, and we started running it before it really got popular with Dale Jr. and Kevin Harvick and all of them taking ownership in it. So, yeah, it's really cool just being down here and being able to run in all those series. So, yeah, pretty lucky.
At what age did you become hands-on? I've seen a lot of pictures with you involved, and I applaud you because not every race car and not every driver out there does the hands-on thing. They just kind of show up the track, jump in the car, and it makes it hard for crews and crew chiefs and everything else to make these adjustments because they have no idea what they're talking about. But I see you are highly involved with the cars and getting cars ready and working on the cars. And at what age did you start getting involved with all that?
I feel like I kind of always have. If I'm not involved and if I'm not in our own shop every night, I probably won't be able to go race every weekend. So my dad kind of leaves a lot of it up to me. If I don't want to go put in the hours in the shop, I won't race. So I've always kind of been like that, hands-on, like you said. So even in the Cars Tour, it was most of our races, it was me, my dad, and one other crew guy, and we're going out there against rental rides with 5+ around 10 crew guys for a few cars, like 2 cars on a team. So it was really different, kind of showing up to all those Cars Tour races, all those guys kind of just hopping in as we're actually having to work on our cars. But I'm not too sad about it. It's kind of what I've grown up into, and I know, especially on the dirt side, I've been spending a lot of time in the shop, in our own shop, working on the modified and getting it ready, and you learn so much more. I guarantee I know a lot more than a lot of the other guys I'm racing with, which is definitely a big benefit for if anything does happen and I have to do it on my own or anything like that. So, yeah, it's definitely worth it, putting in all the time in the shop and just asking questions and just kind of learning about the whole car.
That was going to be my next question. Did you feel it was going to? I was going to ask if it was an advantage or, kind of benefited you, but you kind of went there. I'm going to shoot one more. I'm going to let Chris get in there because I know he's going to talk about these tracks. Because I have a feeling he's going to kind of spin this question I'm going to ask with the tracks. The different type of cars, and it looks like you've driven a whole plethora of different kinds of cars. What has been your favorite, and what has been well, I'm not going to go with the favorite. Let's go with what's been the easiest for you to learn and feel that you were kind of the best of the field, and which one was maybe the hardest that maybe took you longer, or maybe you're still working on trying to figure out how to be the best in the field in that particular type of car?
Yeah, I definitely the hardest is the modified so far, just because you're on a really skinny tire, and even though we're in a crate motor, still with that small of a tire, it's still roasting the tires most of the time. So definitely the modified has been the hardest. The Pro late models, I wouldn't say they're easy, but they have a lot of grip. You just have to really, the main thing I struggled with is just driving it hard. It was really weird going from a legend car where you had to learn throttle control and all that to a Pro late model where you have to just go straight to the floor no matter what and let the car do its thing. So I really struggled with that the first year in a Pro late model, really trying to learn that. And I think this year, towards halfway through this year, we started really getting good. Our first race this year, we finished 3rd at Southern National in the Cars Tour season opener, so that was pretty good. Yeah, Pro late models, I wouldn't say they're easy, but definitely easier than anything else. And the most fun is probably a dirt super late model, 900 horsepower. They have, I'm not sure how big the tires are, but they're big, probably twice the size as the modified tire. So that's been the most fun I've driven. I can't wait to go test some more super late models because they're just so fun. Just driving in wide open and it sucks you in the seat. It's definitely a lot of fun.
All right, Luke. So this is Chris again. Look, I have an old friend, and I remember one time I struggled going out to Talladega. I had about 4 blowouts before I got there, and I talked to my friend. He runs a track down in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he said, "Look, Chris," he said, "believe it or not, right now you don't want to hear this, but this is the time that you'll remember the most, and it'll make you laugh when you tell the story later on." And of course, that's frustrated at the time. I didn't really believe him, but I think he knew a little bit more about things than what I did at that time. Tell us real quick about maybe that situation where, man, that night it just seemed like it wasn't ever going in, but you can look back now on it and laugh.
Yeah, we've had a lot of just tough runs all through the Cars Tour, really, just where we know the problem, but it's like we want to just tell the whole world what happened. Like if we had something wrong with, I don't know, our shock or something, we just want to tell the whole world, but we kind of can't. So we've had a lot of times like that this year. Like at Hickory was one. it started really at Hickory and all the way through North Wilkesboro earlier this year. Just kind of really struggled, and we finally found the problem whenever it was too late. So, yeah, it sucks. Kind of have to just make the most out of it and just move on. Like we didn't have there was a few weekends in the modified we didn't have great runs, but I knew we just had to stay focused and just move forward and just learn from it and just keep going.
Racing is definitely has a lot of valleys and a whole lot of hills. You can be up 1 minute and down the next. One thing that I've noticed over your career, and it does surprise me how far back it goes, the number 49. Why does that number stick out the most to you?
We always try to figure it out. I'm not 100% sure. My dad was always number 2, racing dirt really his whole life. He was always number 2, and I'm not too sure where it came from. I'm trying to remember. We always try to remember and joke about it, how I don't know why, but it's kind of just stuck with me. I think he just asked me one day what number I want to be, and I just said 49.
Were you
Brewster
Baker
really
fan?
Yeah, maybe.
Isn't that the number? Isn't that the number from Six Pack? I believe it is.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let me shoot it back to Mr. CJ Sports, and we'll get you closed out of here, man.
All right.
Free time. What you do in your free time? I'm always intrigued what you guys do throughout the week outside of racing, and it's always it seems to always be the answer. Oh, we do this at the shop. We go to the track. It's an off season. I know it's very rare that you guys have an off season. It's very rare y'all have days off. But say you get the Tim Horton Day development program says, you know what, shop is closed Wednesday. You guys are not allowed to do anything racing at all. You guys go have fun, enjoy the day. What would you go do?
I sim race a lot, so on my free time, if I can hop in my sim and just make laps on really anything, just to stay fresh behind the wheel, I definitely think it helps a lot. I'll definitely do that. But really, my whole kind of day in life is just in the shop. Even this winter, we're building a few new race cars for next year, and we're going to be in the shop about every day, all the way, I don't even know until how long. So it's definitely a busy winter planned ahead. So even this year, I've been in the shop a lot. So that's kind of my whole life. If I'm not doing anything for a day, I'll go with my dad to Bilstein and watch all of the shot guys at Bilstein and just learn about how to build shocks and really learn about all inside of a shock, because I definitely think that helps with if we need to make adjustments. I can kind of be my own crew chief a little bit too.
Now, do you already know your plans for next year?
No, not 100% sure. Yeah, we're still kind of trying to figure it all out if we want to go modified or dirt late model. So, yeah, we're still kind of trying to figure that all out right now.
And did you have any goals going into this year which you want to accomplish or grow in? And if so, did you reach those goals?
My main goal going into the car store this year was to get a top 3 and try to win a race. I definitely knew we could, and getting a top 3 first race, that was really cool and had a lot of confidence going in, but that's when our kind of season started going downhill and having problems every race. So I definitely want to, here in the next few years, I don't really know or care where I'll be at, but I definitely want to hop in a car store, late model stock or pro late model. I'm always searching to get back into that series, just seeing how professional it is and everything. I would love to just go run a few more races in that series next year and the next few years, and hopefully we can get with a good team or something and be able to win a race. That'd be my ultimate goal. That was my ultimate goal for this year.
Now, obviously, you've ran a lot of things on a lot of different types of tracks and different kind of pavement, non-pavement. What has been your favorite type of track? If it be a road course, a bigger track, a short track, what has been your favorite track to race on so far?
Definitely North Wilkesboro as the oval track. That one's really cool. Whenever we ran there, it was just everything went by so quick. We had two short practice sessions and then straight into qualifying. So that was really fun. And I ran a legend car at the Charlotte road course. They have a legend car track, so it's the Roval track, and right once the Roval goes on to the big track, you go back in. It's kind of kind of follows the Roval on the infield. That was definitely my favorite road course. I haven't ran on many road courses, but that's definitely my favorite one just because it's so fast and you're shifting, you're 6 gears. So going about 120 down the straightaways at Charlotte's pretty cool. So that's definitely my favorite road course. A lot of unique corners there, and it makes it really hard in a legend car.
Definitely love some Charlotte. Living in North Carolina for about 23-ish or so years. I can't remember exactly. That was the track I visited most. It was about an hour and a half away from me. I used to stay in the Fayetteville, Fort Bragg area. I got out and never left that area until about 4 years ago. I definitely love Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's a track outside, a little track, Bear Creek, I believe was the name of it, where they run the little wing, I don't know, basically almost like a wing go-kart. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere in the woods. Have you been there before? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they run the same things at Millbridge.
Yeah, I loved it. Larson was out there. Casey Kane was not too long after he had walked away from NASCAR. It was a cool little track just hidden in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of great tracks in North Carolina, as obviously you know. But let's go ahead and get you out of here. I know you are a busy guy, got a lot of things going on. Before we let you go, though, I want to give you an opportunity one more time to let the fans know where to find you, social media-wise, website-wise, and also give you an opportunity to plug your sponsors one more time. Yeah, my Instagram's luke.morey.49. My Facebook's Luke Morey Racing, and obviously Team Horriday definitely helps out a lot with all this. Metal Militia, Shop Deegan 38, the whole Deegan family for everything they've done helping me. Landham Springs, they've done a lot for me, and really just all the companies that help kind of put this whole make us or allow us to be able to race every weekend. They definitely work their butt off for me to go out there and turn laps. Definitely glad to have you come into the studio today. Love to get you back later in the off season or even later in the season to see how the season finished and what the plans are, or even more so when plans are cemented, so we can talk about how this season ended and what's going to go on for your next season. But either way, good luck on the rest of your season. Good luck on the rest of your career, and hopefully we get to talk to you again soon. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Good luck, Luke.
You have a great night.
Hope you too.
All right, man. Way to knock it out the park.
Yes, exciting stuff.
No doubt about that. Well, Mr. CJ Sports, I believe we need to run over the schedule one more time, and we'll close this baby out.
You let them know what you got going tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Race Chat Live tomorrow night. We'll have Miss Lee and Taz Taylor. We'll be talking about all the hot news, including AJ's win, and, of course, a whole lot more. Just follow us 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll, if it's happening hot in the news of racing world, we'll talk about it on Race Chat Live. Then on Wednesday night, what you got going on there, Mr. CJ Sports?
We got the 110 Nation Sports Show also at 8 o'clock. As a matter of fact, all shows as of right now are 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We're going to be recapping college football from last weekend and NFL, giving the NFL predictions. We got a couple hot topics we are going to want to jump into. Before we get out of here, make sure you guys like us on Facebook, either Race Chat Live, 110 Nation Sports. And also check out the site, the 110 Nation Sports Radio Network.com. It has all our shows, our blogs, our schedules, everything that you need to know, and links to catch all these shows on all the different platforms we're on. It don't matter if it's Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Amazon, you name it. We are there. Check us out. Anything else, Chris?
Well, nothing other than we will be at the 29th annual Coors Light Fall Classic this weekend. It'll start on Thursday night with practice, and Friday and Saturday night we'll do racing features. On Friday night and Saturday night, that's super late model features on Friday night and Saturday night. Come join us. I think the purse has been handed up to $15,000 this year for the super late models. We're expecting a lot of super late models there. Of course, next weekend is Eldora, so we are expecting a pretty large car count of super late models. Come by if you're anywhere in the 200-mile vicinity, or hell, if you listen to us all the way up in Canada, come on, drive down, find out what it's like to be at the House of Hook, Why Not Motorsports Park. Be there.
Y'all have a great night.
Next